Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to be tackling a topic that I think a lot of us struggle with,
Hmm?
and that is, effective weight loss strategies that actually work. And
Yeah,
hopefully this is the place to be because we've got insights from Healthline Medical News today and the Mayo Clinic. We're
absolutely.
ready to unpack all this stuff, right?
We're not just skimming the surface here. We're
Huh.
going
Really
deep,
are.
deep into the science and the practical tips for sustainable change.
Okay, so let's start with something that the Mayo Clinic really emphasizes, and that is your mindset.
Oh.
Before we even think about meal plans, they say we need to assess our readiness for change. So
Yeah.
what do you think? Are you truly prepared?
It's such an insightful point.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of like a new diet or, new workout plan,
Right.
but real success comes from internal motivation.
Yeah.
So think about it, like what's driving you to lose weight? Is it about improving your health? Boosting energy levels, maybe feeling more confident.
Right.
Like, really think about.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
If the why isn't strong enough,
Yeah,
it's easy to fall back into old habits.
absolutely. And on that note, the Mayo Clinic also highlights the importance of a solid support system.
Okay.
You know,
Right.
friends, family, even an online community can make a huge difference.
Yeah, I can see how, sharing the journey with others would provide that extra boost of accountability,
Yeah,
and encouragement, especially on those days when motivation dips.
for sure.
Like maybe find a workout buddy or a weight loss support group or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. There are so many options these days.
There are.
Now, while we're talking about support medical news today, they suggest keeping a food and weight diary for self-monitoring.
Oh, yeah, that's a common tip.
Yeah.
But I've also heard that that can become an obsession for some people.
Yeah.
So is there a healthy way to approach that?
They actually address that. It's all about using it as a tool for awareness, not self-criticism.
Right. Yeah.
So it can help you spot patterns in your eating habits,
Okay.
like late night snacking or emotional eating. But if you find yourself like fixating on every calorie or feeling guilty about slip-ups,
Yeah,
it's time to like step back and
Ah.
focus on a healthy relationship with food.
great point. Okay, so let's move on to the actual food.
Okay.
Healthline is all about building a sustainable eating plan, and they recommend focusing on protein, fat, and vegetables.
Yeah.
They even gave some really specific examples like poached eggs with avocado salmon
Yeah.
with roasted zucchini.
I love that they give like tangible examples because what's fascinating is how they connect this back to the dietary guidelines for Americans and provide specific portion recommendations for like
Oh, wow.
a balanced plate. So they suggest aiming for like 5 to 7 ounces protein, 2 to 5 cups of veggies, and 22 to 44 grams of healthy oils daily for adults.
Wow, okay. I like that they're offering concrete, examples and aligning with, the established guidelines.
Yeah.
It's not just like vague advice, it's like actionable steps.
Exactly. And don't forget fiber.
Oh, right.
Medical News Today recommends getting 25 to 30 grams daily.
Okay.
They suggest loading up on fruits, veggies, legumes, nuts, seeds, and whole grains.
That's a lot of fiber.
It is, but it can be really delicious too.
I know, you think about hearty lentil soups or
Yes.
colorful salads with nuts and seeds or a side of quinoa with that salmon and roasted zucchini.
Yes,
It sounds really satisfying.
it really does. And all three of our sources
Yeah.
agree on the importance of mindful eating as well.
Okay.
And the Mayo Clinic in particular highlights how this practice can help you break free from those emotional eating patterns.
So it's more than just slowing down and savoring each bite.
Yes, it's about recognizing true hunger versus, boredom or stress eating.
Right.
It's about being present with your food, appreciating the flavors, and tuning into your body's signals of fullness.
That makes a lot of sense because if we're disconnected from the eating experience, it's easy to overeat without even realizing it.
And the Mayo Clinic suggests this mindful approach can really help us savor our food more
Yeah.
and ultimately make healthier choices.
I'm curious to hear more about how we can apply this mindfulness
Yeah.
to real life situations.
Yeah.
Especially with all the temptations out there.
Yeah, let's dig into that next because putting this knowledge into practice
Yeah.
is where the real magic happens.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now I'm sure a lot of our listeners are wondering about calorie counting.
Yeah.
Do we have to meticulously track every bite?
That's a common question.
It is.
And thankfully, Healthline suggests it might not be strictly necessary if you're already following like a balanced protein-rich diet.
Okay, so we can ditch the calorie counting apps.
Yeah,
If we're loading up on those power trio ingredients,
right.
That's a relief.
Exactly. But they do mention that tracking calories could be useful.
Okay.
If you hit a weight loss plateau,
Okay.
it can help pinpoint areas where you might be unintentionally overdoing it.
That makes sense. But what if tracking calories leads to an unhealthy fixation on numbers?
Right.
Like Healthline had mentioned that as a potential pitfall.
You're right to bring that up. If calorie counting triggers obsessive thoughts or anxiety around food,
Yeah,
it's crucial to seek guidance from a healthcare professional.
absolutely.
Remember, mental well-being is as important as physical health.
Couldn't agree more. And they even provide the contact information for the National Eating Disorders Association helpline,
Yes.
which we'll definitely include in our show
That's
notes.
awesome.
Okay, so speaking of a holistic approach,
Yeah.
let's shift gears to physical activity.
Yes.
You don't need to become a marathon runner,
Right.
but incorporating movement into your routine is crucial.
It is.
All right, time to get those bodies moving.
Yeah.
But what if hitting the gym isn't our thing?
Yeah.
What do our sources suggest for those of us who prefer a gentler approach?
Well, medical news today references the American Heart Association's recommendation of 150 minutes of moderate intensity activity per week. But that doesn't have to mean intense workouts.
So we can ditch the boot camp classes
Yeah.
and focus on more enjoyable activities.
Exactly. It can be as simple as taking the stairs, walking the dog an extra block, or even parking further away from the store entrance.
Oh, wow.
It all adds up.
I love those simple practical tips,
Right.
It's about making small changes that fit into our everyday lives.
Absolutely. And think about the added benefits beyond weight loss.
Yeah.
A boost in mood, better sleep, and more energy.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
And now if someone is completely new to exercise, where should they begin?
Both Medical News Today and Healthline encourage starting slowly and gradually increasing intensity.
Okay.
Listen to your body and find activities you genuinely enjoy.
Yeah.
It's not about punishing yourself. It's about finding ways to move that feel good.
I think that's key, finding that sweet spot between challenge and enjoyment.
Yeah.
It has to be sustainable, right?
Exactly. It shouldn't feel like a chore. Speaking of sustainability, let's delve into some lifestyle hacks to help make those healthy habits stick.
Okay, let's get practical.
Yeah.
What are some tricks of the trade that our sources recommend?
Well, the Mayo Clinic offers some great advice on managing triggers, those situations or emotions that can lead to unhealthy eating habits.
Oh, like reaching for that bag of chips when you're stressed or bored.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
It's incredibly common. The key is to first become aware of those patterns.
Right?
Do you tend to overeat when you're feeling anxious or lonely?
Yeah.
Once you identify your triggers, you can create strategies to cope in healthier ways.
So instead of automatically reaching for the chips, we could have like a pre-portioned bag of nuts on hand
Exactly.
or call a friend for support.
Yes, planning ahead is crucial. And Medical News Today has another great tip.
Okay.
Eliminate those liquid calories.
Oh, yeah.
Sodas, sugary juices.
Right?
They add up quickly without providing much nutritional value.
It's easy to forget about those sneaky calories lurking in our beverages.
Right. Opt for water, unsweetened tea, or coffee instead. And here's another interesting tip from Medical News Today. Sometimes dehydration can actually be mistaken for hunger.
Well, that's a good one.
Yeah,
So next time we feel a craving coming on, we should try drinking a glass of water first.
precisely. You might be surprised how often your body is simply thirsty, not actually hungry.
This is making me rethink my whole snacking routine.
Oh.
I'm already starting to see how these small adjustments can make a big difference. It's amazing how these seemingly small, tweaks to our habits
Yeah.
can have such a big impact.
It's true, and remember, this is a journey, not a sprint.
Right.
All of our sources emphasize the importance of sustainable change, not quick fixes.
That's reassuring because let's be honest, there will be days when we reach for the cookie jar instead of the carrot sticks.
Of course, and that's perfectly normal.
Yeah.
The key is to not let those slip-ups derail the whole journey.
Yeah.
It's about progress, not perfection.
Right. It's about getting back on track and focusing on the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, how do we define success in this journey?
Oh, that's a good question.
Is it just about the number on the scale?
That's an important question, and the Mayo Clinic reminds us that it's about so much more than that.
Okay.
It's about how you feel, how your clothes fit your overall health and vitality.
It's about feeling energized and confident in your own skin.
Exactly. And finding a way of eating and living that nourishes your body and mind long term.
That sounds like a much more holistic and sustainable approach
Yeah.
than just chasing a certain weight.
It is. And remember, setbacks are inevitable. But the Mayo Clinic leaves us with this powerful thought. Long-term weight loss is a journey, not a sprint. Celebrate small victories, be patient with yourself, and remember that the results are worth the effort.
That's a great reminder to be kind to ourselves throughout the process.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one key takeaway you hope our listeners will remember?
Mm, I'd say it's the power of a multifaceted approach.
Yeah,
We've talked about mindset, nutrition, movement, and lifestyle tweaks.
right.
They all play a role in creating lasting change.
It's not about finding that one magic solution. It's about creating a holistic plan that supports your individual needs and goals.
Absolutely. And remember to celebrate those small victories along the way.
Yeah.
Every step forward, no matter how small, is a win.
Well said. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today.
Of
This
course.
has been a truly enlightening deep dive into the world of weight loss.
It's been my pleasure. I hope our listeners feel empowered to embark on their own journeys towards healthier, happier lives.
And we'll be here to cheer you on every step of the way. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and most importantly, take good care of yourselves.